Hey. Alright. Let's see. I always say I'm going to try to keep them super, super short. And then it doesn't work out. But I'm going to try again. So we're going to try to make this as short as possible. Okay, I will leave it. I usually don't, but I will. Okay. Let's back up. The reason I stopped shuffling, I was kind of getting a feel for this card, and then like it was reversed. And usually I don't really like to take reversals because I don't know, unless I really feel like I need to. I don't know. Four of Pentacles was on the bottom, and it almost gave the feeling like somebody's not, the growth is not moving. You know what I mean? Like, this is someone who's kind of picking something up and starting to study, starting to learn, starting to really make moves, you know, because they're learning about it. They've practiced, they've got that mastery. Anything higher than the Eight of Pentacles, there's mastery in a field, but they're still kind of young, you know, they're still green in a sense, but they do know what they're doing. But with it coming out reverse, and it's almost like I got the feeling like something has stopped. Like, because this would be growth and movement. This is not. And with that Four of Pentacles on the bottom, why? Okay, what is Seven of Cups on the bottom. Oh yeah, something has stopped for sure. Look, Knight of Swords in reverse. This is upright, it's fast movement, it's going, but in reverse it's like somebody put the brakes on. You know what I mean? The brakes have been put on. Why? There's that Seven of Cups poking out again. It's almost like there's so many, I don't know if it's like paralysis, what do they call that? Something paralysis, like where there's so many things, you just can't even pick one. You know, it's like almost like too many options, you know? So it's, I think it like almost is stopping something. But that Seven of Cups, it's almost like, how many of those things are imagined though? Because in those cups, if it comes up again, I'll show you. I wonder if I can see it here, so I can show you this Seven of Cups. Because a lot of the stuff in that, of course not. Lovers can also speak of a choice as well. So I feel like movement has kind of stopped because someone's not sure maybe of a direction to go. Okay? Why? Worried about making the wrong choice, possibly ending something, possibly something ending because you're making a choice. What if something ends after you make the choice, there's a lot of I would call it, I don't want to say fear, because I don't think this is something, it's funny. I heard it's not fear, it's conditioning. So maybe this is something that you've kind of learned just from like past traumas and past things that you're like, well, this has not worked out too well before. Because this is a serious, put the brakes on, lock them up. This is not happening. It's dead in the water. You know what I'm saying? DOA. Like, it's over. Why? But why is it coming up then? Because if something was over with, it shouldn't show up energetically for you, right? Okay. So maybe, okay, I heard, what is the reason that it's over? Okay, what's the reason? What is the reason? Oh, this again. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. All right, so somebody's been hurt a lot, right? And I think a lot of this has had to do with, I was gonna say, just keeping it pushing. Wounded warrior, sometimes for me is not just somebody who's like gotten hurt a lot. It's somebody who's gotten hurt a lot, but they've really not been able to fully take the time needed to heal. See, this guy was like right back to his post, like beat the crap out of him, and he got right back to work. He's standing here posted up, ready for the next fight. So I feel like whatever area this is for you, this is something that's like, you're just kind of worried that it's going to be another it's just going to leave you kind of like battered again. But I kind of get the feeling like that's in of itself the problem, is there wasn't time taken for healing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Four of Swords comes out as like something you need here, because that's kind of the vibes I get. Almost like it's like you're too much in your head. Like, swords are in your head, intellect. Like, this is something that like it was done, it was over, wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Wouldn't work for obvious reasons. A lot of trauma here. So why is this coming up? Why? How can this introspection? So this is because this is coming up because this is something you need to look at, right? Hermit is introspection. It's going within, so you can complete a journey. You can't really go any further until you're able to see where you're going. The Hermit holds his lantern, and that's as far as he can really see. Everything else is dark. He's pretty much able to see the steps in front of him. And the purpose for that is introspection. You're kind of forced in a way to not focus on anything outside of yourself, which, I mean, this kind of ties in a little bit with the last couple readings I did, where you're kind of in this you energy, like you really just need to focus on yourself. And you know how like it went back and it was saying conditioning, like it's almost like you don't want to count something out, or you don't want to like stop just because of this. And it's not, like I said, I don't even think it's a fear, you know what I mean? I just think it's like maybe you notice some flags. I won't even call them red flags, but maybe you notice some observations. Would that be a better word? Observation. You know, and it's kind of like, I think that's our way of like subconsciously being like, hey, remember that time we also saw this happen? So it puts up like this you know, like this wall. Give me 1 second. I don't want to ask in what area, because I mean, you will be able to decipher what area that you're feeling these things, and I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole, you know. I really want to keep this more personal development than involve anybody else into it. So if you know that's what it's dealing with, that's your story, but I'm going to keep things very as high a perspective as I possibly can, because this hermit is really telling me there's a need to. You know, this is about self. Your blockages causing this pain. Like, this is the Six of Wands, which is victory, success, reverse. So what's the opposite of that? You're talking the Nine of Wands, which is, you know, it just feeling like you got beat to hell. Ten of Swords, like it's a guy with a bunch of knives in his, like, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is not, I wouldn't say it's not good, because I don't believe really there is. You know, it just is definitely something you are learning from. This is something that you're being kind of forced to look at. I keep seeing a key, so this might be, for somebody, it might be a key to getting past this. Okay. You know, this is really odd way of, I've never had this happen, how I'm going to read them this way, but this is what I'm seeing. I don't, this is that intuitive part that is like, people be like, that's not what that means. Just calm down. I don't know if you can see the two people, they have the same color hair. Like, when I first looked at the cards, it felt like it might be like the same person, like a before and after of the same person. Page of Swords is somebody who's really just learning to step into that swing. You know, it's getting their footing, and it's wielding that sword with somewhat of a confidence finally, you know. Somebody who's just learning again. These pages, they're just getting into what they're doing. And then this kind of gave me the feeling of, like, after all is said and done here, she's kind of enjoying the fruits of her labor. So it kind of reminds me of, like, everybody starts somewhere. That's what I got instantly, was everybody starts somewhere. Like, this girl started somewhere. I don't know if this is just, it might be a couple different things coming together. Like, you know how they like say everybody, you know, kind of has to take their lumps. Everybody, you know, it's nobody's an overnight success. It's a long time. It seems like it once it happens, but it started way before that. So that might just be kind of a reminder for somebody. I also, first when it came out too, I got the idea, like the feeling, like, because typically Page of Swords can be seen as like a eavesdropper, or like somebody who's spying, or that kind of a card. And I got, don't do comparisons. You know, you shouldn't be comparing yourself or your journey or how long it's taken you or this, that, and the other. That's your individual thing, and it really has nothing to do with anybody else. You could be on, you know, YouTube for 10 years and do nothing, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of followers. Like, you don't know. Like, it's Yeah, I kind of get like this sense of somebody, and I mean, this might be what you're doing. This might be kind of your energy is, I'm not moving forward. I'm not giving any more to anything until I'm sure that I'm sound enough individually to move forward. You know, maybe this is kind of coming to a realization that, you know what, everybody starts somewhere, and that's just how it is. I'm gonna be a page until I'm not anymore. You know? Bingo. What am I at? 15. Oh, I'm already at 15. That's what I do. I kind of feel like somebody's like, they have what they need to move forward, but maybe they're kind of like, almost like the universe is like, look, you can go forward, you can have what you want, you can be what you want to be, you know, but you're almost like, no, either you're not ready yet, or I don't know what this is. It's almost like you're good at your craft, you're sought after for your craft, or whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever it is you're thinking about here. It's something that could go forward, but it has stopped due to introspection. Why? You wouldn't, okay. It's weird. I don't mean to be like, oh, it's weird. I don't mean like that. I mean like, it's like you almost don't want to unburden yourself is what I got when but that, you know, when you say it out loud, it really doesn't make sense. Like, why? Why do you feel like it has to be like that? Huh. Why? Oop. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put these here. It's almost like you weren't able to do what you needed to do. This is a very, there's that 7 of Cups again, and the 7 of Swords. Huh. Or maybe you had made a choice and now it's almost like you're thinking, about the next thing. Like, okay, all right, hold up. Something ended. You made a choice. Moved away, right? Now I think it feels like something else is trying to present itself, but it's almost like you're like, no, you know what? That's what I'm feeling like the reason for that is it's almost like, look, I've been down that road. This old song and dance. It almost like yeah, it's almost like you're kind of anticipating something because you've noticed before. You know, like this, it might be a page, but you know, they still have moved through. It's a lower court card, but it's still a court card. That you know, there still is quite a bit of mastery with the pages. So I mean, it's not to say that a page is, you know, they might be a little naive in some areas, but in certain areas, they're actually very knowledgeable, especially in their chosen fields. So you might be, you might have chosen to go in a direction and it kind of deaded something, and then maybe something else was offered, then you're kind of like, it's almost like I'm getting here, if you can see he's being offered another opportunity, but he's like looking at the other ones like, yeah, like it looks just like the other opportunities that were given me and they were all shit. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. It's like almost like, that's why maybe it isn't fear, but it is almost kind of like, ugh, wow, why not surprise me with something different, you know? If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then that's what I'm getting here. It's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe that's this showing that progression of like, you know, when you were starting out, like this might have been a good offer, but like as you progress, you're like, I'm just not interested anymore. What would be the best way to handle this situation? What would be the best way for them? It's on the bottom. Wheel of Fortune I see, and Two of Pentacles. Yeah, there's no clear-headed decision. There's no, you know, clear-headed thinking. It's just this constant like, now this might not even be your energy. This could be somebody else's energy that I'm picking up on, because it feels very like this energy it feels very cut and dry, you know what I mean? Like this energy almost feels like there was a lot of indecision, but this energy, it's almost like, no, it's done. It's over. There's too much. It was done. This energy feels very I heard remorse. So maybe there's somebody who's kind of regretful about this. Maybe that you were maybe forced to make this choice, or maybe it's, you know, a company that wanted you to work for them, and you went elsewhere, or a relationship, whatever it is. But like I said, just whatever is how it fits into your thing. But I do feel like there was choices made to move on, and it's aiding in one person's mastery, and I think on the other side here, whatever the other entity is, person, establishment, whatever that is, I do think there might be some kind of like, well, I don't know. I heard went with a safer bet. So, but I mean, it has caused some sort of Some sort of imbalance. I don't know. It's like a really weird read because it's like at some points it's very like clear cut and dry, definite, and then like other energies are kind of like, it's odd. So I asked, what did you need to do here? And I really didn't get a clear Seven of Swords. I really don't trust intrusive thoughts, no matter which side that you're on here. Don't trust things that kind of pop into your head and disrail you. You know what I mean? Like they derail you and go to like a different. You know, if you made a decision and you feel that you have cause for that decision, then that's your decision. You know what I mean? Other people made their decisions as well. That's also their decision. I think that overthinking the situation won't help. Like I said, I do think this is helping someone grow. Probably both people, or both, you know, whatever is going on here. I can kind of feel like maybe there have been a few times where either you, I do feel like even you have like kind of, well, did I do the right thing? You know, I want to know more about this Seven of Swords. It feels like somebody got everything that they wanted, that they asked for, you know? It just didn't turn out to be everything they wanted. I heard you played yourself. It's almost like it makes me, like, every time I see this Seven of Swords, like, the way he's trying to make off with the swords and, like, you know, screw these people when, you know, he's taking a risk by doing it, not only by getting caught, but by getting chopped up and cut up with these swords, like, and he's not even getting all of it. Like, it's just it's like a cash grab, you know what I mean? Like, whatever they can get. And I'm kind of getting that, like, contrasting energy. It's like maybe starting out you were very just looking to be successful, to do whatever this is, to do it, right? And then as you've grown, it's kind of gotten of more substance, which has probably led to these decisions that you've made. I asked, you know, the outcome here, what you need to know. You don't need to be moving. You know what I mean? Like, that Hermit again, there's gonna be a celebration that, you know, it's like one day it'll make sense, kind of an energy, you know. It's like it might kind of be like, wow, that was a kind of a crappy decision to have to make, but like one day you'll realize, oh, it needed to happen. That's really what I'm getting here. And that's life. That's life. There's all these different things we do, and we have to take, that otter book that I bring up all the time. This is a prime example of having to make a decision, and you don't know what's going to happen, but you've learned things along your way that have been like, well, I have done this and this and this in the past, and I know that it's gotten me this, or I've dealt with this kind of person with this, this, and this is what it's gotten me. So I think that it's an eye-opening experience to have to experience, but when you do, it helps make these decisions that need to be made. I think eventually I heard your team is already celebrating, your ancestors, your angels, whoever you want to call them, right? However you want to leave them, they're already celebrating this. So I do feel that you've made a decision here that wasn't easy, but it was a necessary. I think it was a head over heart decision, and I'm usually heart centered. That's absolutely, but being too open with your heart, and you should never close your heart, but being too open with it where it's almost detrimental and you're risking yourself, it's dangerous. Any messages from messages, or we'll take a lot of cards. I kind of feel like this was done in a way that you had enough signs and enough synchronicities and enough I really do feel like you're someone who's pretty tapped in, at least with their intuitive side, you know what I mean? And I do think that it was something that it was a quick decision, in that it was a necessary one. I got like ripping a Band-Aid off, it's gonna hurt. It's just, ugh, right? But at the same time, I kind of feel like you were able to understand that what you were looking for and what you were in the process of working towards, you would not have achieved there. This is yeah, I kind of feel like some of you kind of know too, like having done this has almost kind of set in motion I don't want to say the hand of God, but it's almost like by doing this, whatever this was, like, I'm not even sure what you're supposed to be really, because it kind of alludes to that you're see what I mean? I said a short video. It's almost 40 minutes in. It's like impossible for me to do like a 10. I don't know how people do 10-minute videos. It's almost it alludes to something had or has to end. It wasn't great, but it was necessary. Okay, fair enough. Alright. It's a little worry doll or wish doll, whatever you want to call them. I grew up with these, using them. They're little dolls, and you can whisper to them and talk to them, and then you put them under your pillow and you carry your worries away, right? Your fears, your bad dreams, which is funny because we're just talking about fears and stuff here. So, I mean, whatever worries you have, whatever, I heard deep-seated trauma. Wow, that would be over here in that hermit area. Whatever it is, sit with it. Really sit with it. How much of it is real? How much of it is kind of imagined? We all kind of will sometimes think worst case scenario, right? I think it depends on your belief systems. I kind of am a believer that anything truly meant for you to experience, you will experience it, right? One way or another, you will. So we really shouldn't beat ourselves up if we can't or we don't. Try again next time, right? That's just me. So it really does help with these kind of things. It's still painful, it's still difficult, it's still not easy to walk away or end something that you didn't plan on doing that to, but sometimes it's necessary, and it's I heard word celebrating. I'm sure that the people listening right now, I always love when I hear my angels and stuff telling me stuff like that. It's like, well, if you were here living it, I don't know if you'd be saying that. So then I feel like an asshole relaying it to you guys, oh, you should be grateful for all this. It's like, what? No, this sucks. I get it. But they all look at things, I think, from a high perspective, long-term kind of stuff. So it's a different thing. I really